Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. How are we today? We are back for yet another Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney stream. How y'all doing tonight? I know I've been gone for a little bit, but life gets busy. It happens. But we're back. We're gonna call this Ace Attorney Mondays. I just came up with that now. Unfortunately, my brain's not working, so I can't think of anything else, but that's okay. But yeah, we are back. So is our boy Edgeworth. I'm very excited. I believe we're still on the... Yes, farewell my turnabout. So we're about to go into a trial. Let's see, what happened? Oh, our girl... Well, a lot of things happened. So there's like a new Steel Samurai show. Someone got schmurdered, as always. And then our poor girl, Maya, got kidnapped. She got snatched. And then her captor wants us to get a not guilty verdict for our client. Which makes me suspect that our client actually did it, but we're not supposed to know that. But we have a lot of clues are pointing towards the bellhop or whatever his name is, Shelly. Him. Lot of fingies be pointing towards Shelly. So yes, Mr. Shelbert, welcome in, Seppo. Without further ado, let's just hop right into it. Shellington. Sir Shellington. March 22nd, 9:47 a.m. Defendant lobby number 3. Oh yeah, this man who does not have a spine. Every time we asked a question, he was like, let me consult my manager. Adrian did it? That's what it looks like. Dude, no way. That woman couldn't do anything like that. I'm trying to think, chat. I'm trying to remember the case. In court today, there will be a mountain of evidence that will implicate you. Mountain of evidence? I'm certain there is someone out there trying very hard to pin this whole thing on you. Please, Mr. Lawyer. Dude, like I said yesterday, I'm refreshing like a spring breeze, alright? Can't let any sort of scandal ruin that. I understand. Well, it's almost time. Ah! Mia! Pearl! Testimonies. Cool. We must get a complete acquittal today. I know. I can't focus on Maya's situation right now. Or Pearl's is either. Wooga wooga testimony. No matter what, I have to focus on winning this case by the end of the day. Indeed. Well, let's get going. Who's phoning me? Ah, it's the child napper. This is right. Good morning. This is it, Mr. Attorney, the day of the trial. Maya, she's unharmed, right? Well, when I checked on her earlier this morning, she seemed a bit, how shall we say, tired. Don't worry, people don't die that easily. Besides, what you really should be concentrating on is winning today's trial. Grr. Yeah, I growl at people over the phone too. For my sake as well as yours, you must win today's trial. Which is why I sent you a little present this morning. Present? What in the world would you want to give me? Really trying not to say the... Phoenix can't say it. You'll figure it out once the trial starts, and even if you don't like my gift, I expect you to graciously accept it and win the day's contest, if you please. Wait! Ah, got it. Yeah, I can't give him that kind of pass, because we just can't do that. The kidnapper sent me a present? Mr. Lawyer dude, who is that? No one. It has nothing to do with you, so forget you heard anything. Dude, did your nose just get longer? Rude. Alright. What? No one's here. Court is now in session for the trial of Matt on guard. Are the prosecution and defense ready? Defense is ready, Your Honor. I say, Mr. Wright, what happened to Miss Von Karma? I don't know, Your Honor. Why are you getting mad at me? Your Honor? Please be quiet, bailiff. Court is in session. You must tell me something. Please keep it brief. Now then, what is it? Prosecutor Von Karma has... This morning, Miss... She was shot? Was that the president he was talking about? Oh my god. Shot? You mean she didn't whip the bullet out of the way? Somehow. I think this is the present that man was talking about. Present? Oh my god, he shot Von Karma. Here, I got you a present. By the way, it was me just shooting someone. Miss Von Karma is one of the top prosecutors in the country at the moment. If she were to disappear, it would be to your advantage. This is totally insane. Miss Von Karma, is she alright? I don't have that answer. She's alive and in stable condition. Does that mean my boy Edgeworth? I'm gonna fight against my boy? You're... I thought he'd show up. My boy! Your Honor. Due to the circumstances, Miss Franziska Von Karma cannot appear in court today. I, Miles Edgeworth, will be taking her place. My boy! He's back, baby! Edgeworth 2.0, just as edgy. Prosecution is ready, naturally. You're in the wrong... Sir? Move your buns. Miss Von Karma was shot in her right shoulder and is currently undergoing surgery. The frog is back. Luckily, I have looked this case over and am familiar with the details. The prosecution seeks to prove the guilt of Mr. Matt on guard. The court acknowledges the prosecution. Right. I finally found the answer I was struggling for on my long journey this past year. By the time this case comes to an end, you two will know the answer. Now then, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. Please bring Detective Gumshoe to the witness stand. Gummy! Aren't you happy that Edgeworth's back? Witness, your name and occupation? My name's Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm a detective down at the precinct. For now. I'm gonna gum. For now? After this trial's over, I'm supposed to turn in my badge, sir. Detective... No, he got fired! What the heck? The prosecution has no need for a depressed witness. Lift your head up and face forward like a proud officer, Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yes, sir. Now, let's have your testimony. If we want to explore the various facets of this case, we must start with that. Get ready, Phoenix. This is gonna be one very tough fight. Rough. Yeah. It would have to be with Edgeworth as my opponent. The answer he was struggling for? Interesting. Show me this answer you finally found. Show me your answers! It's just his dog. That's what Phoenix wants to see. Bare facts of the case. The murder happened after the Hero of Heroes Award ceremony, sir. Oh no, he was stabbed. The victim, Juan Corrida, was found dead in his hotel room. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely schmurdered, sir. Yeah, for real he was. At first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the schmurder. Huh. After the award ceremony ended, the victim was alone in his room? Yes, sir. Both the victim and defendant went alone to their room, sir. I see. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Alright, chat. Show me your boobs. I mean your testimonies. But Edgeworth don't got those. Show me your evidence, Edgeworth. I'm kidding. We're gonna press everything. Use our usual strat. We're gonna press everything. Okay, pal. The ceremony started at 6 p.m. It ended around 8 p.m. and then there was a short break. A special post-ceremony show was supposed to start in the lobby 30 minutes later. That's when the victim's body was found, correct? Which is to say, the murder occurred during that 30-minute break period. Please continue with your testimony, detective. Detective? The person who discovered the victim's body was Adrian Andrews, correct? Yeah. Who is this Adrian Andrews you're talking about? She's the defendant Matt On Guard's manager. She's a really pretty lady, sir. Ah, so she's a pretty lady. I wonder if she will grace us with her presence. When the post-ceremony show was about to start, she went to get Mr. On Guard. After visiting his room, she next went to the victim's room to get him for the show, sir. I see, and that's when she found the victim's body? Definitely schmurdered. Definite court language. The cause of death wasn't that because Mr. Corrida was stabbed in the chest? Only a careless amateur would believe something so brainless as that, pal. That's rude. Was he poisoned? By the tomato juice? Take a good hard look at the crime photo. Now, a real pro's attention would be drawn here to this banana. Banana. His bandana, sir. That's the thing tightly wrapped around his neck, sir. Ah, yes, I see. His banana-scented bandana. Then, what about the knife? It seems to have been stuck in the victim's chest on purpose after his death. We have a crafty schmurderer on our hands here. Autopsy report added to the court record. He was strangled. At first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. Why did you think that? Because it was empty, pal. That's rude. The Jammin' Ninja doesn't go anywhere without his bright red guitar. And we couldn't find it anywhere at the scene of the crime. Oh, then how about this theory? Fan really wanted the guitar and did the crime to get it. How's that? We thought of that too, but... The only fingerprints on the guitar case were the victims. Yeah, the victims, huh? I'm so sad we don't get to dust for fingerprints anymore. I liked that. I see. Ah, so much for my theory then. What convinced you it had nothing to do with the case? The guitar wasn't at the Gatewater Hotel that night. Well then, where was it? Bright red guitar was eventually found at the TV studio. The victim, Juan Corrida, had apparently only taken the case with him, sir. Do you mean he forgot to put the guitar inside the case? Yes, sir. Even when he was on stage for the ceremony, he didn't have his guitar. So that guitar case was empty even before he got to the hotel. Wouldn't he have felt it? Okay. Sorry, chat. I'm just the big dumb sometimes. Yeah, that's right. So it really had nothing to do with the case after all. I believe that is enough. First, the victim was choked to death with his bandana. Then, after the victim was dead, the killer deliberately stabbed him with a knife. Which brings me to my next point. Why, then, did the police arrest Matt On Guard? because there was reason enough to suspect him. Here it comes. Looks like Edgeworth's back in full swing. Very well. Detective Gumshoe, please testify about this matter. Yes, sir. I guess there was nothing for me to find in that first testimony. Matt on guard and one Corrida were huge rivals with each other. They each thought the other guy was in his way. That's enough motive in my book. As for evidence, there's the Jammin' Ninja's button. It was ripped off the ninja costume and was found in Mr. Unguard's Hakama. The defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife. The defendant bought the knife for the crime, which makes this a premeditated schmurder. But isn't that the knife, the fork and knife that they used to eat? So yeah, if someone... my brain's thinking. So the defendant's fingerprints were found on the knife used in the stabbing. It was sort of sticky on the handle, so the fingerprints came out pretty clear, sir. And there's this button. That was found in the defendant's clothes, was it? And is this button also covered in blood? Yes, and we know that the blood on it is the victim's blood, sir. What? Okay. All of this points very clearly to the defendant, doesn't it? Yes, it most certainly does, Your Honor. Ready to give in yet, right? I'll find the hole in your argument somehow. Phoenix Wright, I'll find your holes. You can press as hard as you'd like. Just hurry up with your usual pointless questions. At least she's not whipping us. Or he's not whipping us. He's great, yeah. Phoenix Wright is great at investigating holes, especially if they're Edgeworths. But in terms of popularity, Mr. On Guard won, did he not? Yeah. You know what's ironic, pal? Juan Corridia was always one step behind Mr. On Guard in everything. This year it seemed like he finally caught up, ready for the big final showdown. Mr. Cordia lost the Grand Prix in the end. It is too bad. He must have been pretty downhearted after losing. I feel like I need to look at my evidence again. Press conference ticket, radio receiver. Superstar and Ultra Hot Mega. Okay. There's no sign it's been drained. Okay, so Lotta's camera is missing. That's the victim. This is our client. Good old security lady, Wendy Oldbag. This is On Guard's manager, and this was her mentor who committed sewer slide, and then she also tried to commit sewer slide, and we don't know where the note is. Wait just a second here. Mr. On Guard was beating Mr. Cordita in the popularity polls. Well, yeah, I guess, but... Which means that in the defendant's eye, the victim was not a rival at all. Which means he had no motive to kill at all. Yes, I quite agree. Well, detective? It's not... well... I guess if you... Oh, thank you! I've been delivered a cookie. I guess if you put it that way, then yeah, the defendant would have had no motive. Detective, I'm beginning to see why you were fired. Rude. Eh? No, not you too, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. That's... I look forward to your pension negotiations. Poor Ed. Poor Gumshoe. He's losing all of his money. Sniffle. No, not my poor pension, too. You have any proof that the button belonged to the victim? What do you mean, pal? Oh, let me put it this way. I'm asking you if you have any evidence to back up your claim that this button was ripped off from the Jamma Ninja's costume. Huh? But can't you tell can't you tell by just looking at it? And the victim's blood is on it. Anyone could have smeared that blood on there afterward. But Mr. Edgeworth, help me, sir. Thread. The button was attached to the costume by thread, obviously. And that thread snapped when the button was torn off. If you match up the ends of the thread on the costume with the thread on the button, it's a perfect match. Yo, they got thread detection magic in this game? That's Edgeworth for you. Never misses a beat. When was this button found? Pretty soon after the body was found, we rounded up everyone who knew Mr. Corrida. Then we did a search on them all, and that's when we found the button. So it was almost immediately after the schmurder. The police didn't have the free time to lollygag and play tricks, unlike some people. Hey, what did you try to say about me here? I don't get penalties for questioning, so... How were the fingerprints arranged on the knife? By examining the fingerprints, you can determine how the defendant held the knife. For example, did he hold it normally or overhand? Oh, is that what you meant? Well, we didn't actually think of that. I can't believe the bumbling of this department. Hopeless. Are you paying attention to the testimony, right? The defendant's fingerprints were all over the knife. There's no way to determine how the knife was held at the moment of the schmurder. So is the defendant the owner of this knife, then? There's no way this was a premeditated schmurder, even if he bought the knife. It also has the hotel's name engraved on it. He did not just bring this knife with him. Oh, well, this is not good. Prosecution can prove it was premeditated schmurder. We're done for. Phoenix. Yes? There's something very interesting about what the detective just said. Think carefully before it's too late. Be grateful. If the judge were more rash, he would have already pounded his gavel in closing. Let's find the weakness. Okay. So, just going off of what she just said, I think we use the knife for... I think we use the knife for this because it says Gatewater on it. There's the victim's blood and guard's fingerprints. In the grip, Gatewater is engraved. We did it, chat. Ah, my head. Hitting my head off my microphone. I'm being attacked. Ugh. Okay. Wait a second. Wait a damn minute. What? So the basis of your argument was that this was a premeditated murder? Is simply that? My client bought a knife beforehand? That's right, pal. The defendant did not buy this knife. Huh? Take a good look at the handle of this knife, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Huh? It has a Gatewater seal set into the handle. Gatewater? I think I've heard that name somewhere before. That's the name of the hotel. The Gatewater Hotel. Uh-oh. Sorry, Gumshoe. I'm gonna tear into you. Sorry, dude. The Schmurder knife was actually property of the hotel, which means the Schmurder was not premeditated. Yep. Yes, that is very true. This is a very big... You're not laughing, Edgy. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sorry, but the defense is simply too careless. What? I've missed his wiggling finger and his angry face. I think whether the crime was premeditated or not has already been determined. How so? I admit this knife is hotel property. There is no one currently on the police force that is dumb enough to not realize this. But I didn't know... Oh. The question is... Where did this knife come from? Where did it go? Where did it come from Cotton Eye Joe? Like, we don't know. Well, we know where it came from. I know where it came from. Well, why, that's obvious. It came from the victim, Mr. Korida's room. I'm gonna have to stop and say his name every time. Sorry, Your Honor, but that is incorrect. The victim ate a last meal before he was murdered. With that being the case, I'd like to draw the court's attention to what is on top of the table. It's a knife! There's a knife and fork on the table. Nobody says anything about all the bears? Then, where in the world does this knife come from? If it pleases the court, I would like for us to recall the room of the defendant, Mr. Matt on guard. Yeah, there is one missing. Especially what was on top of his table. There is something missing. Perhaps it is a single knife? One solitary knife? We investigated the leftover dishes for fingerprints, and while we were investigating, we came to the conclusion that Mr. Matt on guard's knife was missing. Why would he carry a knife on a visit? To kill, of course. And with that, I believe the prosecution has proven this was a premeditated murder. Amazing, Mr. Edgeworth. Absolutely brilliant. Brilliantly clear deduction. Seems like Edgeworth had this planned from the very beginning. This must be one of those traps. I just walked headlong into it. A murder weapon with fingerprints and a button from the victim's costume. There's quite a sizable amount of evidence here. I can safely say that any further deliberation is a waste of your honor's time. Although, I wouldn't mind if the defense went to present evidence not yet shown to the court. I know what that means, guys. What does the defense have to say about this, Mr. Wright? Well, Phoenix. The judge is favoring the prosecution right now. If we answer with something wrong here, the gavel of his will be ringing out to the sound of our defeat. Do I, chat? Hmm. Hmm. So, this was new. This was new. Nope. This is new. This is new. That's new. Is it the wine glass? I don't know. I don't... Because it has to be something that's relevant to the case. The only thing I can think of is this wine glass. What do we think, chat? Because a very possible answer is also no. I don't have any new evidence to show them. That's the thing. I don't think I have any evidence that's relevant to what we're trying to determine, if it was pre-schmeditated or pre... Trust my gut? My gut's saying the wine glass. Because it is next to the... My gut? Gut? Okay. Actually, I do. There's one. One piece of evidence that catches my attention. Something that this court has yet to see. Mr. Wright? I will say this one more time. I do not feel this trial needs to continue at all. However, I am giving you one chance, and only one. What the judge is saying, right, is don't try pulling one of your usual bluffs here. If I mess this up, it's curtains for all of us. Chat, did I mess up? Now then, what is the important evidence you... Is it the juice? Chat, you can't just tell me to use my gut, because if we do, I'm gonna have to do this all over again. I feel like it's the stomp. Oh my god. I don't wanna chat. I'm scared. Believe in my indigestion. Alright, well, the tomato juice. Take that. This is a wine glass, is it not? Please look at the photo of the crime scene one more time. The scene is a mess because of the victim's struggle against... Oh yeah, because the juice... Like, who poured a glass of... First of all, who's drinking just straight up tomato juice? Second of all, it was the only thing that wasn't, like, disturbed. The vase was broken. His makeup was all over the floor. These are all the things that were at one point sitting on top of the dresser. Well, yes, I see your point. However, this glass that was sitting on top of the dresser was mysteriously untouched. The only thing that had not fallen over along with everything else was this wine glass. This piece of evidence is more than strange enough to warrant further consideration. Well, what do you all have to say? Ah, well, yes, this is a little peculiar. Yes, isn't it? I thought it was. But stop looking at me with those puppy dog eyes of yours now. Mr. Edgeworth? What is it, Your Honor? Your opinion? You don't need my opinion. Because there is no special meaning to that glass. How do you know? First of all, who's just drinking tomato juice? It's safe to say that the glass was set there after the crime took place. By the person who discovered the body, Adrian Andrews, for example. She could have easily been so shocked that she had set the glass down without thinking. Yo, if I was her, I'm holding my cup, whatever, full of liquid, and I discover a recently unalived body, I don't think I would think to gently set said glass down. I think I would probably just drop it. That's just me. And I feel like 90%, not really 90%, I feel like that's most of the people in this situation. No one's gonna calmly be like, oh man, that guy's not here anymore. Before I do anything crazy, let me put my cup down. And then I'm gonna scream. Nobody does that. That does sound very plausible, Mr. Wright. Does Miss Andrews really have set that glass down without thinking? No, why would she get that close to him? There's no way. There's no way. Chat, I'm saying there ain't no way. If I appear weak here, the trial is over. I can look for my proof later. For now, I should trust my instinct and point with certainty. I might just fall for it, if you're thought-provoking enough. The defense would like to challenge the prosecution's theory. We would like to see something that proves that it was Miss Andrews who set the cup on the table. You've turned the situation on its head yet again, as usual. Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any proof to back up your claim? There's no way he has any. He's just bluffing. Unlike Mr. Wright, I never say anything unless I have evidence to support it. What? I'm sweating, chat. You're not thinking hard enough today, right? Did you think this wine glass escaped my notice? Then, of course it has been thoroughly inspected. For fingerprints. I didn't get to do it, though. Fingerprints. There's only one set of fingerprints left on this wine glass. Only one? Well, whose were they? They were not the victims nor the defendants. Rather, they were one of... That is why I said the person who had discovered the body had left it there. Are we done here, Mr. Wright? Grrr. Can't believe I fell into another trap. Yo, Mia's not helping me at all in this trial. Her testimonies aren't working, apparently. Miss Andrews was probably holding the glass when she went to see Mr. Corrida. There's no way! There's no way! No, I do not believe she would be this calm seeing him like this. Upon seeing his dead body, she was stunned and set the glass... No. What you said just makes a lot of sense. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Now do you see, right? You can't change any part of my scenario as it explains everything all too well. I've thought long and hard this past year about what it means to be a prosecutor. From here on out, I will show you the answer I have come to discover. Wait a second. Mr. Edgeworth, put your clothes back on. I think the prosecution has proved enough evidence for me to enter my verdict. Unfortunately, I cannot allow you to pass judgment yet. The prosecution has yet another witness we would like the court to hear from. Yes. Bailiff, please bring in the next witness. What in the world's Mr. Edgeworth thinking? Is it Lotta? Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. Witness, Davy Gotcha! I wonder what happened happened to that calm composure he had earlier? Oh, edgy boy, it's been what, a year since we last met, hasn't it? You should be more happy to see me. I saw the report with her testimony, but who knew that under that helmet was the Wicked Witch of the Wicked Stand? I tell you, this time I know what I'm supposed to do. So today I'm going to tell you anything and everything. Even things that don't have to do with that terrible crime. Miss Witness, that terrible crime is all the court needs to know. Oof, shush. I'm talking to my dear Edgy Wedgie right now. Don't interrupt us, Gramps. Yes, madam. No. Please, by all means, interrupt her, please. Anyway, witness, your testimony, please. It's true what they say, that youth are hot-headed nowadays. Not that I mind at all, edgy. Now then, what should I start with? The witness was on security detail at the hotel on the night of the murder. Is this correct, Miss Oldbag? It was a great job being able to see my dearie Juan. It was almost a little too much for my little heart to handle. I mean, you were a fan of the victim? Look, everyone is crazy over that on guard, saying he's cute in a fresh way or something. But not me. I wouldn't say anything so silly. After all, I have no interest in a little child like him. I'm only interested in a real man. Juan Corrida. I was gonna say Corridia again. It's okay, chat. I'm just dumb. But those two were the same age. Anyway, as I was saying, I was pacing in front of his room that night. Very well, please tell the court what you witnessed the night of the murder. Leave it to me, Edgy Poo. She's married. What the heck? Anyway, after the ceremony, I went to pace around the hallway in front of his room. There was something I was interested in finding out, you know? Well, since I was on the job. I made sure to keep a good eye out the whole time. That's when someone showed up. It was a man coming out of poor Juan's room. He was on guard. Matt on guard. He was trying to sneak his way out of Juan's room. It's because they were secret lovers, actually. So Mr. On Guard came out of the victim's room? See, it has to be him. He's the murderer. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Soldbag, what was your post on that night? The lobby. I was supposed to help set up the stage for that trifling show. But I refused to help. I'll have you know. It was for that lead-headed samurai show. I even took out a few nails. Maybe it was a good thing the show didn't go on. Besides, that manager with the glasses seemed to be working hard at it without me. I thought I'd take a break and spread my wings a little. When you went to hang around the victim's door? Something you were interested in? And just what was that? It's not some little thing I can just go around telling everyone, you know. It's top secret between me and Juan. Ah, and Edgy Poo, of course. Mr. Edgeworth, what is this thing she was interested in? I have no idea. I despise gossip, Your Honor. Gossip? Should it prove relevant, we can always have it appended to her testimony later. It's like we shouldn't force it right now. And did the witness stay in the vicinity of the victim's door the entire time? Oh, then would you tell us the number of people who went in and out of Mr. Corrida's room? I have no idea. I wasn't born so I could count things for those who didn't pay attention in class. That's why ever since I turned 20, I quit keeping track of how old I really am. Yes, well, that would explain why your age was not included in the report. In any case, I don't know how old are you? Something? The witness then saw someone, correct? Who in the world was that? I'm not allowed to say. This sort of information has been carefully guarded from the masses, Sonny. The man that came out of Juan's room? He was... Yes, he was. Ah, I'm too scared. I can't say his name out loud. Oh, what I wouldn't give to have Francisca's whip right about now. Well, I guess I can tell you since he was such a bad boy anyway. You saw my client? Are you sure about that? Yes-y. Really? Annoying brat. When I say I saw someone, I saw that person. Why'd I get a sense of deja vu? Maybe to avoid a repeat of last year, I should delve into this a bit further. What were they wearing? Please tell the court about the man's clothes in more detail. What a troublesome man you are. Really, as if something like that matters. But it does. Now what was it? Oh, yes. It was that thing. What thing? That gaudy thing he's always wearing. That racing jacket? Ah, he was wearing that at the detention center, too. That thing's meant for nothing but seducing women out of their pantaloons. Men. Right. So, Mr. Wright? Was his testimony just now important or relevant in any way? I feel like it is? I'm unsure, chat. I feel like it is. The judge asked if the testimony was relevant or not. I did press on that. And then I think I got the... No, that is not this. When I pressed on that one, I think I got an answer pretty much of like... I believe it was that one, yes. It was the very last statement of the testimony. Oh, then yeah, it's important. It's very important. Of course it was important, Your Honor. And perhaps you would like to point out what part of that testimony was important. Your Honor, I request that the witness said about the jacket be appended to her testimony. I don't quite see where you're going with this, but alright, witness, please. Oh well, I don't like to badmouth people without reason, but if I must... Are you sure the defendant was wearing a racing jacket? What do you think? It's not like I've seen him in anything other than that horrible thing. I'm sure he was wearing it. She is so sure of herself that it's to the point of self-absorption. She may not remember things or be mistaken here and there, but I don't think she's lying. It's bad for us, really bad. But that's how the human mind is. It also has a tendency to jump off topic. She strayed onto a few interesting side topics this time too, hasn't she? But that's what makes her a sweet old lady, right? top secret between Juan and me. I wonder if what she was trying to figure out is the whole gossip scandal thing. There was something I was interested in finding out, you know. I feel like this is where we talk about... Because Edgeworth said gossip. So, if she's trying to figure out the tea, I feel like it's this. Isn't there a new line now? The new line, which I've already pressed, the new line is... He was wearing his flashy racing jacket. Honestly, it's all just for show. And I've already pressed it. That is sus. Chat, you're right. That's sus. Because of this thing. Ripped from the costume, covered in gordita. How could he be wearing... I don't know what a hakama is, but it ain't no racing jacket, that's for sure. Miss Oldbag. What? Don't say my name for no reason. Do you know what this is? Ah, it's button number 2 from the Jammin' Ninja's costume. Now I know she's an obsessed fan. She identified it at a single glance. Give it here, give it here! If you don't give it to me, I'll punish you with this. I love the little pose that she makes. Wow, she really is a diehard... She really is a diehard fan to want a button covered in blood. This button was discovered on Mr. On Guard's body during a full-body search. See? See? This button proves beyond a shadow of a doubt it was that rascal On Guard. It was caught up in the pleats of his nickel samurai hakama pants. See? See? On Guard is the nickel samurai. Witness. Now, it may just be me, and I do have an active imagination, but just now, didn't you say that the defendant, Matt On Guard, was wearing his usual racing jacket? Ah, I'm so sorry. Sorry that you judge people based on what they wear. If I wore the trendiest... Oh, she's going. She's going, chat. This outfit is ridiculous. It's hideous, see? It's heavy, so heavy. I wish I could stick CDs to it. Documentary on curling. Now hold your tongue still there for 1 second. So what you saw in actuality was not Mr. On Guard, the man, but Mr. On Guard, the nickel samurai? When you think about it, they're really one and the same anyway. Miss Oldbag, this is a very important point we're trying to talk about. Edgy Poo, do you think so too? Well, it might be something worth considering. Just say it's important and agree with me for a change. Witness, think carefully and try to remember as much as you can before you testify. Alright, if you insist. Whew. Whew. Chat. Oh my gosh. On guard, on guard. Yes, now I remember. The Nickel Samurai. That's right, it was the Nickel Samurai that I saw. Yes, it would have been convenient for him to wear his costume during the murder. He had to go to that post-ceremony stage show right after the crime, you know. He must have worn that Nickel Samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Juan. I knew it. I knew you'd say he was inside that costume. What? Did you think there could have been someone else hiding in that costume? be a bad little boy thinking such rude things. But the possibility does exist. Ah, youngins today, I told you there is no way it was anyone else. How do you know that? Because I said so. And what I said is the truth. At least she's just as delightful as a witness as she was a year ago. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Okay. Watch your language, young man. What sort of tone is that to take with an elder? My youthfulness isn't what it used to be, so you should forgive me for everything. If you keep on barking at me like that, I'll start singing at the top of my lungs. What? I'm not gonna sing that. She's actually singing. Someone help my poor ears. Mr. Edgeworth, can you please do something about this racket? Witness, I'll give you a piece of gum later if you'll be good and stick this just to the facts. Okay! You promise, right? Ooh, gum! Right, I'll be sending the bill for the chewing gum to your office at a later date. Remind me to send you a thank you note later too, Edgeworth, old chum. Be a little more careful with your testimony, please. Not too long ago, you said he was wearing his racing jacket, and now he's not? Not too long ago. And let me ask you this. When you were itty-bitty, what was your grand dream? Huh? What did you want to be when you grew up, whippersnapper? My dream, huh? Well, I, wanted to be... Judge Wagner? Hero of the public's court. So what? See? And look at where you are now. You're not Judge Wagner, are you? Are you? Well, what I said earlier. Who puts any weight into things like that? And now is everything. I can't be held responsible for the past. All that matters is that the man was inside that costume. Isn't that enough? I got an achievement, guys. Yes, it would have been convenient for him to wear. And why would that be? That way no one else could see his face, of course. There's still no advantage to him, for him that I can see. In fact, you would think the costume would make him stand out all the more. You sure are an annoying kid, you know that? You disagree with everything I say. Isn't that what you're always doing to me? I got it. Maybe it was some more troublesome for him to change in and out of his costume. Was there anyone else scheduled to appear at the post-ceremony show? Well, all the contestants were supposed to go on stage in a friendly jester thing. And that included the Jammin' Ninja? Of course it included him. That's why when On Guard came out of dear Juan's room, I didn't give it a second thought. I see. Well, anyway. So you must have worn that Nickel Samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Juan. Again, I don't think it was him inside the costume. The person you saw, it really was the Nickel Samurai? As showy as ever. Haven't I been saying that from the very beginning? Can I throw in the towel yet? You don't need to think too hard on this one. Huh? There's a contradiction in her testimony, and it's sitting in plain sight. The question is what that contradiction means for us. Well, I have to figure out what you're talking about first, but okay. Wait a second. I'm waiting a second, chat. Trying to think. The knife did have fingerprints. Is it this one, though? So he must have worn the Nickel Samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Juan. Oh. Play too many games where E is the interact button. Got it, chat. What are we playing on? We're playing on PC, Carly. Welcome, welcome. This is the remaster of the first 3 games that's available on Steam and most other game platforms. But welcome on in. We're trying to solve some schmurder here. Grab a drink, get cozy, and watch me not know how to read sometimes. Please take a look at this. Yeah, so it's a knife. Big deal. If you're trying to scare me with that, I'll have you know it won't work. No. That's not my intention at all. That's the knife that was used in the schmurder, correct? Your Honor, do you know why this piece of evidence is important to this case? You don't even have to ask. It's because it has the defendant's fingerprints on it. Is that what you're driving at? That is exactly what I'm driving at. What are we driving at? And whose car are we driving? If Mr. On Guard was really in the Nickel Samurai costume at the time of the schmurder, then it's impossible for his fingerprints to have been left on this knife. Actually, he would have wiped all previous fingerprints on this knife right off. Oh, that's right, the Nickel Samurai wears gloves, doesn't he? Screw of a clock. Probably took his glove off before he began the stabbing. Why would he do that? And he doesn't get any blood on his hands. And also, where was there blood on his costume? Although they did say that he was strangled and then stabbed. So... And why would he do something like that? To leave his fingerprints on the schmurder weapon? There's no way he would do something like that. However, there's one possibility. And let's hear your possibility. It's very simple. Defendant went to the victim's room while in costume as the Nickel Samurai. At that time, the defendant held no intent to schmurder. He was probably just going to relax and talk with the victim about the stage show. Which is why he took his gloves off. But the schmurder still did take place. Have I ever played Danganronpa? I have not. I have them. I have all 3 of like the main series games. And I know it's very similar, like detective, gotta figure it out, and all that. Did I watch the anime for that? I might have watched the anime for that, though. Who knows? Maybe we'll play that one next, because it is also of a similar thing, but also I am sometimes the big dumb and my brain doesn't work. So sometimes games like these are a little bit hard, but you know, we still, this is the second, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney game. We still have one more to play through, and then we're done the original trilogy. And then maybe after that we might hop into something else adjacent. We'll see. We don't know. We don't know which way the wind blows, but thank you for the suggestion, Carly. I appreciate it. It's well known that there was bad blood between the defendant and the victim. Yes, I have heard that before. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say about Mr. Edgeworth's theory? So let me get this straight. Edgeworth's theory goes like this. The defendant went to the victim's room. He had no intention of killing him. Hello, Sharona! Welcome on in. Long time no chat. Welcome. We're on case 4. Our boy Edgeworth is back, and our girl Maya's been She's been napped. She's been kidnapped, and the only way to save her is to get a non-guilty verdict. Or a total acquittal. Something different. It has to be, I have to get it today. Or else poor Maya. My girl. My girl. We gotta save her, chat. We gotta try. When the defendant went to the victim's room, he had no intention of killing him. Now, up to this point, are there any problems with this theory? My brain. Classic Maya. I know. Always messing around. Always being a silly, goofy lady. The real question is, up to this point, are there any problems with this theory? But why would he bring the knife if he wasn't going to commit, if he didn't think about committing the schmurder? Why would you bring, I don't understand. So, are there no problems? I mean, there is a problem, because, like, who the heck would bring a knife? I gotta go talk to this dude, let me bring a knife. There be okay. I assumed so, but sometimes when I think too much outside of the box in this game, it just shoves me back into the box. This theory contradicts something in an earlier testimony. I'm glad they remembered what it was, because I don't. What are you babbling about, my boy? Now, for argument's sake, let's suppose Mr. On Guard was the killer. If that's the case, I think it's impossible for the killer to have gone to the victim's room without intent. Is it because... is it... Is it possible for the killer to have... Do I use the knife? Because it has his fingies on, his little fingy prints on them. Gut. Okay. Guts. Sometimes when the music still plays and then it quiets down, that's where I'm like, did I do it? Did I do it? Did I not do it? Because sometimes it's like an immediate, like, I click, the objection pops up, music stops, correct answer. They do it like this, freaks me out. I think you got it right. Thank the Lord. This knife, it was used by Mr. On Guard at dinner. Yes, we did establish that. Which means that if my client was, in fact, the killer, and he brought this knife with him when he went to visit Mr. Korida. Having such a hard time with that name, I suppose. However, you just said it yourself. At that time, the defendant had no intent to schmurder. If that were true, then why would he bring a knife? He wouldn't. That's what I'm saying. Why would you bring... If I'm not intending on schmurdering, why would I bring a knife with me? I mean, like a little pocket knife, that's different. Because, like, if it's already on my person, I'm not taking it off. Take that, Edgeworth. Which means, Mr. Edgeworth... Mr. Edgeworth. Your theory was flawed from supposition 1. Sorry, I've had to read big words all day today. And one more thing. If the schmurderer was wearing the costume at the time of the schmurder, then there would be glove marks left on the knife. Which means the defendant's fingerprints shouldn't be all over it like bees on a hive. That brings me to my final point. This knife was planted by the real killer to hide their identity and mislead us. My shoulder is itchy, but I can't scratch it. Order? Order, I say. Order in the court. Was this knife really planted by the killer? Why would the schmurderer do such a thing? To frame... What? Why would the schmurder... This one. It's to frame my client, Mr. On Guard, of course. To frame... Aren't you forcing the interpretation just a little too hard on this one? No. But we just established that the witness saw the Nickel Samurai in costume. If that were true, then there shouldn't be a single fingerprint on this knife. Go. Witness! Looks like I've made your life a tiny bit more difficult. Huh, edgy poo? Witness, did you or did you not really see the Nickel Samurai? Well, I guess at first I might have forgotten, but... Are you saying that you mixed up Mr. On Guard with the Nickel Samurai? His character on TV? But I mean, I can't really do anything about that now. Look, I was waiting around in front of their doors because, well... But I wasn't waiting around for the Nickel Samurai, that's for sure. She wasn't waiting for the Nickel Samurai. Alright then. Who were you waiting around for then? That's top secret to anyone outside of security. I have a feeling that you were waiting for Mr. Juan Corrido. Am I correct, witness? The way you think, you are a sad amateur with a terrible case of nearsightedness. Amateur? Me? What am I an amateur of? Oldbag was waiting around in front of the victim's room. It doesn't sound like she was waiting to catch a glimpse of Mr. Corrida. Maybe, Phoenix. Maybe the old bag was waiting for that person. If it's who I think Mia's hinting at, it's certainly possible. This old bag. You were waiting for this person to come outside the victim's room. Oh no. I feel like we were waiting for Miss AA herself. I feel like she might have been waiting for her because of all of the gossip and everything. Because other than that was it. I don't think there's anybody else she, in theory, would want to be waiting for. Let's give it a shot. Nope, the music did not stop. Who's this person? This is Adrian Andrews, Mr. On Guard's manager. But why would the defendant's manager be in the victim's room? It seems that this is the latest rumor in circulation, Your Honor. Oh, this is... Ha, I see. Judge seems to be really into the article, if it can be called such a thing. And this manager with the initials AA, are you saying it's... Adrian Andrews, without a doubt, the witness thought so as well. Looks like you found me out. I did it, chat. Never mind. The music didn't stop. This is what I mean. Now I gotta really think, because the game's not gonna tell me anymore. Well, that's fine. I can throw away this whole sworn to confidentiality stuff then. Witness? What in the world are you? Watch out, Phoenix. Got a bad feeling about this. A very bad feeling. I got some information. Some very secret information from a certain source. So that's why I was doing my own little investigation. In secret, of course. But what for? Oh, just for myself. Personal reasons and all that. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, how will you proceed from here? I really don't want to do this, however, I cannot simply let this point slide. I see. Very well then. Witness, please testify about this secret information. Get ready. This is gonna take the wind out of you youngins. I'm sure we're all capable of holding this. Really, it's not like we're 10 years old. A little rat-tat-tat-tat-tat. Secret information. That Unguard is one evil, evil man. He thought he could ruin poor Juan by causing a huge scandal. So to do that, he sent his own manager to get in close with Juan. I cannot condone such dirty tricks, so I took action. Oh, and this is top secret. You got that? Nobody else but you and me know yet, okay? Hey, guys, we got a bot in the chat. Welcome to the bot in chat. We appreciate you being here. Thanks for auto doing. I don't know how you guys get in these streams, but it's fine. Chat's a chat. I'ma take it. The defendant sent his manager. What a distasteful topic for this court. What? Nobody's above gossip. And isn't there a saying, the truth is never pleasant? Ever heard that one before? Oh. Mr. Edgeworth, what about this Adrian Andrews person? We've looked into the matter. Found that the truth the article proposes is, in fact, baseless gossip. Beep, beep, boop. Yeah, exactly. Thanks. I'll appreciate you. But should this be true, then this proves that the defendant did bear ill will towards the victim. This means I have to smash this rumor once and for all. Now then, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Be careful. The old bag seems rather excited now. That's right. On guard is nothing but your average foul-blooded youth. Well, as the old saying goes, you've got to burn old bags with fire. Time to fire up the afterburners and hit the highway with... Oh, Phoenix. What are these references, man? When did this game come out originally? Like 2003? You can't say something like that without proof. That's just slander. But it's true. That woman was being getting intimate with poor Juan. Look, it says so right here, doesn't it? Manager to the stars, Miss AA. The name of the magazine... But the name of the magazine this came from is Gossipland. What? Are you saying that gossip is all just a pack of lies? What do you know? I suppose next you'll swear to me that the news is 100% true? Something like that. Yeah, pretty much. Honestly, Sonny, you can't discriminate between the news and gossip. Yes, discrimination is bad, Mr. Wright. Discriminate? When did I do anything like that? Anyway, On Guard will never get me to say touche. Oh my god, this lady. Oh, you thought he could... Poor scandals. Poor scandals. A scandal? What do you mean by that? You're a dim-witted one, aren't you? I can't believe you don't know what a scandal is. Honestly, what are they teaching kids in middle school these days? No. I wasn't asking what the word scandal means. Even I know that much. Well, that On Guard thought he could own a monopoly on popularity. Well, that's not why they sent... That's not why. You don't have any proof that Mr. On Guard did any such thing. You must be suffering from shock, the shock of hearing the truth. And now, since you're in so much shock, you can't do anything right. You're right, I can't do anything. But boy, do I wish I could do something about you. Alright then, Sonny, show me what you've got. Can you show me proof that On Guard didn't... I don't? I don't think I have any... Oh. My big mouth. That's the way the cookie crumbles, for you anyway. I didn't think I had evidence for that. I cannot condone such dirty tricks, so I took action. So what do you mean by I took action? Like I already told you, I was lying in wait to close the scene. I was lying in wait close to the crime scene. Once that slimy woman came out of Juan's room, I was gonna capture her and teach her a good lesson. Something you youngins need. You were going to teach her a good lesson? I was gonna make her eat the damage... I was gonna make her eat the damaging rays of my ray gun. Like this. No, stop! Well, it was too bad that woman didn't come through the door that night. Okay, so I think this is the line where I mention yeah, exactly, Sharona, you got me. So, but hear me out, chat. I think this line is where I might possibly present this. I think. So the thing is do I present it, or hold on, I don't remember. You must be suffering. Okay, this is where she asks for proof of something. Alright, I can't do it. Alright then, Sunny, show me what you've got. Can you show me proof that Ungard didn't bear any ill will towards Juan? Why? Did I press the 5th? Like the last statement? I don't remember. I don't think I did. Okay, so let's see, let's count. Just okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. What? I'm a busy woman. Tea time with the kids is over. Secret information that no one else knows yet. If that's true, then how do you know this secret information? Oh, well, that's because I'm a pro. Yes, that's it. It's a secret. Even if you drilled a hole into my brain, you'll never find out. Let's press further. If you don't be a good girl and tell me where you got this secret information, you won't get to go home today. Edgy Poo, what are you doing? Help me. What do I have to do with this? Just do this for me. You'll get your reward. I don't want your reward, but you don't leave me much of a choice. The witness could have gotten her information from anywhere. It's even possible that it was spontaneously made up inside the witness's head. And he lectures me on reckless blabbering? As long as we don't know where this information came from, it's quite a waste of time to focus on this line of questioning. Wait a minute. Lotta's camera, stolen on the night of the murder. Tabloid article about the victim was in the case. Did she steal Lotta's camera? It has to be something I can use to figure it out. Sounds like just another tidbit of gossip, doesn't it? You can't just ignore it either. It makes your client look bad either way. Well, I don't think I heard anything really out of the ordinary just now. It has to be something we can catch her on. Yeah. And when I find it, I'm gonna press the heck out of it. Okay, so... So, I think there's a part of me that wants to use the Lotta's missing bag because tabloid article about the victim was inside the case. And knowing Old Bag, she probably touched something that doesn't belong to her. What do we think, chat? I feel like this is the right direction, but I cannot condone such dirty tricks, so I took action. Not condone such actions or tricks. The real question is do I press it again and present the evidence after? Or she's pretty nosy, that's what I'm saying. So I feel like, because Lotta's camera is missing. Yes, press that. Okay, I did press it. So then my thing is, should I... Your gut is good. I do eat vegetables. I do have decent gut health. At least I like to think. I've learned that my body needs more than just an iced coffee in the morning to live. Wait, I'm a busy woman. Okay, so then... That's true. Where'd you get the secret information from? Give me your secrets, even if you drilled a hole in my brain. Let's do this. So no one else is supposed to know this secret information, correct? That's true. Then why do you know it, Miss Oldbag? What? Why are you looking at me like that? Stop that! Witness? I hate to say it, but this is how you came to acquire your secret info, isn't it? The music turned off. The investigative photographer, Lotta Hart. Oh yes, I remember that mischievous girl. She reported that she had lost a certain note she had written to herself. She reported such a thing? On that piece of paper, she had written down some of her impressions about the relationship between the victim and Miss Andrews. What? Outrageous ideas, you say? No. I said impressions. Then everything written on this piece of paper is completely meaningless? Ah, that's it. That's the note. Ah. No, you see, this is something completely different. This is my top secret list of groceries to buy. And you're the one who took Miss Hart's note? I'm a huge fan of Juan's, that's why. That infamous puffy-haired whippersnapper. She's working with that evil on guard. She said so herself. On guard, I'm his sidekick. She was so happy, smiling like a silly duck. I was only checking what she had written. Edgy Poo, you believe me, don't you? Yeah, call him Edgy Poo and it hits him right in the diaphragm. I was only trying to help out like the angel I am. It's only one little piece of paper. I've never taken anything else before. You really should come with a supply of cheese to match your vintage wine. Well, it was only a piece of paper. I suppose we can overlook this once. She looks like she's really sorry. Should I forgive her? Do we pile on more pressure? How we feeling, chat? Pile it on. They're saying pile it on. I let up on her now. She'll get away. I have to find some way to inflict a deafening blow to the prosecution. Witness, you said that the only thing you stole was that note. Is this correct? Stole? Why don't you listen more carefully, you annoying brat? I saved this piece of paper from a terrible, lonely trash can, that's all. You're lying, damn it, and I can prove it. Are you putting my credibility under scrutiny again? Miss Oldbag. I don't believe that the note was the only thing you stole that night. Was it also the camera? Pile driver. Good old 1-2, you know? Miss Oldbag. That note was with a camera inside its case, wasn't it? Camera? Yesterday, Lotta was raising a huge stink over her camera. kept saying something like, my sweetie $1,600 camera disappeared on me. Why? Why? Witness! What is it, Gramps? If you have the note, then it is only logical you have the camera too. Looks like you found me out again, Sonny. Is this the camera you're looking for? Ah, that's... What? Even though I look like this, I'm still a person, you know. I still eat meals like you. I fall in love and borrow things from people. I think your definition of borrow is a little off. I saw that woman's business card, and that's when I noticed it said, Slime bag celebrity photographer extraordinaire. Well, when I saw that, I had to know what sort of picture she had taken. I'm a professional security guard. It's my business to know these things. Bailiff, check this camera's photos. Hurry. You must examine them at once. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do we have? There's only one photo that seems to be relevant to this case. Please present it to the court. Hey, yo. He's short. That ain't him. This is the Nickel Samurai. See? I told you. That's the guy I saw. This proves that the witness was not lying earlier about this matter. What does this all mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photo by itself does not prove that the person in this is the defendant. However, in his own confession, Mr. On Guard clearly stated that at the time of the murder, he was still in his Nickel Samurai costume. If that is the case, then this Nickel Samurai is the defendant. How did it come to this? I think this brings us to the end. We have examined every piece of evidence thoroughly. Final comments, Mr. Wright? The court will consider them before we close. Do you agree that this photo is decisive evidence against your client? This photo is really decisive, then we're done for it. But if I raise an objection here and blow it, then I would put Maya's life in jeopardy. I can't make a mistake here. There's only one road out of this mess. This photo that Lotta took, there's... Hold on a second, chat. Let me take a closer look at this picture. Doesn't he have like a big fancy metal arm or something? There's something strange with this photo. I knew this was coming, right? Your thoughts, Mr. Edgeworth? I think we can all agree there's nothing strange with this photo. There's no way for the defense to debunk this photo, even with a bunker buster. Debunk with a bunker buster? I should save often in this case. I thought I could only save during the intervals. I can lose, yes, I know I can lose this case. Well... I didn't know that. So we're just gonna... Thank you, chat. I know it might not make sense, but we're gonna do it now anyway, because regardless, I'm gonna have to start over again. Anyway, please look at the photo one more time. Hold on. There is something strange. His hair. He's got so many more wispies. Now I can save scum. That's fair. Hold on. Hold on, chat. He's short. He is a short... I mean, listen. I love a short king. Yeah, he's short. Because his feetsies are exposed. And this is him bent over. It's okay, chat. It's okay. I'm right. It's okay. If you really believe you can honestly find something wrong with this photo, then you should only need one chance, correct? One chance, one opportunity. Where in the heck did she take this photo from anyway? It's all out of focus. Why can't she take a good shot, especially when it counts? Now then, let's hear your objection. What about this photo is strange? How short they are! I'm gonna click these pants. I'm gonna click these pants. That's what I thought. That's what I thought, game. I would like to direct the... I always notice when people are short, because I'm a relatively short individual. For some reason, I just have short detection on. If someone's wearing pants and I think the pants are too long for them, it's because they're short. Or they just bought really long pants for no reason. I would like to direct the court's attention to this one area right here. What are you pointing to? His ankles? If you could see this person's ankles, that would be one thing. However, you can't. And what does that mean? The costumed person in this photo could not have been Mr. On Guard. What is the meaning of this? I wonder if you would care to elaborate with actual facts, that is. Let's take a look at the Nickel Samurai's poster. Please pay particular attention to the area around the bottom of the hakama. You can see his feet. His socks. You can see his socks. Exactly. However, in this photo, the Nickel Samurai is clearly holding his hakama up just to walk. He ain't even holding it. He's just... There's only one explanation for this. The person inside this costume is clearly much shorter than the defendant. Alright, I think I've turned things around for myself this time. That's curious. Huh? What is? Edgeworth is unusually calm today. It's true. He's just letting the trial run itself, as if he's only along for the ride. Along for the ride? What do you mean by that? I can only guess that perhaps he doesn't feel under attack at all. Doesn't feel under attack. I haven't damaged his case at all? Mr. Edgeworth, where does this leave us? The person in this photo is not Mr. On Guard, and everything the prosecution has tried to prove has become meaningless. I figured it would come to this. What? Right, I have something I want to ask you. I think you have proven that the person inside this costume... You think you have proven that the person inside this costume is not Matt On Guard. In that case, who is this a photo of? Is the person wearing the Nickel Samurai costume? Don't stress out over this, Phoenix. It's very simple. What you should be focused on is Edgeworth's attitude, don't you think? Yeah, why is he so calm? Why is he calm like a cucumber? Mr. Wright, let's hear your thoughts. Who is the person in this photograph? Ooh! Is it Adrian? It's not the defense's job. It's not my job, it's someone else's. Let's see. I feel like could be the defense only needs to prove their client, not find the real killer. You're both right. But that's not how this game works. It shouldn't be his problem. Because Music stopped. Adrian Adams. Andrews. Wrong name. If you want to know who that nickel samurai is, it's none other than this woman. Why would you say it must be Miss Andrews? What in the world points you to her? For starters, she's short. And she can freely move in and out of Mr. Ungard's room. Finally, she had dinner with Mr. Ungard that night. And how does that all add up? It means that it makes it very easy for her to get a certain item. A certain knife with Mr. Ungard's fingerprints all over it. The knife that was used as a schmurder weapon! Why don't you just say it? Why don't you just say what it is you want, right? I have to do this now. This is my chance to turn things around. The defense moves to indict Miss Adrian Adams in the schmurder of Juan Corrida. It was indict. Why is there a C then? It was Miss Andrews who tried to frame the defendant for the crime. Order! I feel like I should get like a little 3D printed gavel made so I can be the judge. It looks like this trial has hit a most unexpected development. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor? This court is issuing a subpoena for Miss Adrian Andrews. A verdict cannot be passed without first hearing her testimony. Right, this is it. It's kind of bad for us. Huh? What do you mean? If Adrian Andrews is summoned to court as a witness, it means that the trial will go on for another day. One more day. Ack! If I don't get a verdict today, then Maya... Now then, we shall set Miss Andrews' testimony for tomorrow. What am I supposed to do? The judge is about to adjourn... Why is this game giving me so many issues? Fine. Since I learned fancy tricks. We're gonna raise an objection. Now then. That was the right answer. Please, Your Honor, continue the trial. You must pass a verdict today. I can't do that. We cannot hear Miss Andrews' testimony. I abhor wasting such valuable time. Edgeworth? No. Your Honor, I request that you please continue with today's trial. But we cannot continue due to this unexpected development. Tisk tisk. Unexpected development? You think you underestimate me, Your Honor? What do you mean by that? Mr. Phoenix Wright would slave his way to subpoenaing Miss Andrews. Is all. Happening according to plan, even if Wright was a bit slow to catch on. But... What? Bunk. What is the meaning of your statement, Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Adrian Andrews is currently waiting in the prosecution's lobby. She is the next witness. Everything was planned out in advance by that man. Somehow I knew there was no way Edgeworth would overlook Miss Andrews. Looks like this battle is far from over. Exactly. Very well. We will call the next witness. However, before we proceed, we shall take a 10-minute recess. Please prepare your witness by that time, Mr. Edgeworth. The court will now take a 10-minute recess. Ayo, chat. That was crazy. Oh, but we did it. We lived to see another day. Thank you to chat for telling me that I can save whenever I want. That makes me a smidge less scared. Only the first half, second half. Encore. Yes, but I just need to collect my thoughts first. Okay, so here's the thing. We know who the real killer is. Question is, how do we get him? Or is this just one where we just let them go? I don't know. Ugh, my brain is tired. All right, let's see if we can finish this case. Alright, dude, I can't believe that Adrian. No way. Not cool and collected Adrian Andrews. She is your manager. It would have been easy for her to pull this off. Only person who had easy access to the knife used at dinner was, well, her. So after the ceremony during the break, huh? I was sleeping like a log the entire time. See, she could have also easily planted the blood-covered button in your comma. And because she was the one who came to wake me up? Then, dude, you're saying it really was her? Yes, she is the real killer. She was the one who murdered Juan Corrida. But why? I thought she was buds with Juan. She has her own agenda. Her own agenda? What are you talking about? I'm sure you'll see by the time this trial's over. Ah, my hip. It'll be alright. I'll get you acquitted by the end of today. Get me a verdict that's refreshing as a spring breeze. Okay, Mr. Lawyer Dude? Phoenix. Think her motive is related to Celeste Impax's missing sewer slide note? Yes. Miss Andrews depended on Miss Impax as her strength and reason to live. And then Miss Impax suddenly, you know, hung herself. It sounds like she left a sewer slide note, but the person thought to have hidden it is Juan Corrida, the victim of this murder. That's why I think that Miss Andrews got close to Mr. Corrida. All to get that sewer slide note back. Sounds plausible. One thing bothers me. What? Who was it that first told us about their relationship? Better stated, Miss Andrews' dependency issues with regards to Miss Impax. Miss Edgeworth. Looks like he's still the one in command of this ship. Don't let your guard down yet. Alrighty then. Let's see what we can do here, chat. Court will now reconvene. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you please. Prosecution calls the witness subpoenaed by this court. Miss Adrian Andrews, the person who discovered the crime in Mr. Juan Corrida's room. What is your occupation? I'm the manager of the defendant in this case, Mr. Matt Ungard. I see, now then. Before we begin, Your Honor, I have one request. Yes, sure, what is it? I'm sure everyone in this room is wondering the same thing. I would love to find out about more about my relationship with the victim. After all, it was the topic of a certain weekly magazine recently. No, I have no idea what you mean. I've never even heard of Gossipland. Judge was ever a prosecution witness, he'd do all my work for me. Anyway, I was wondering if you could please tell us about your relationship with the victim. Yes, I was seeing Mr. Corrida. But I was also aware of the rivalry that existed between Matt and Juan. But this was a private matter between Juan and myself. So it was a fry and bait matter? Or was it that bait and fry. Reminds me of fishing. But I didn't kill him. No one is accusing you of that. I am. I think there's someone who would beg to differ. I think we all understand your relationship with the victim now, Miss Andrews. Very well then. Witness, please testify to the court. I'm going to put my sock back on. But what happened when you discovered the murder that had taken place? When I found the body. It was time for the show to start, so I went to get Matt from his room. After that, I went to Juan's room. And there was his dead body. I was in shock. What I saw was, naturally, the exact same scene as in the crime scene photo. As I thought I was about to faint, I felt as though I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice. You poured yourself a glass of juice? Yes, sadly, I didn't remember not to touch things at the scene of the crime. And I disturbed the crime scene by moving this one thing. That is when fingerprints on the wine glass were made, Your Honor. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Phoenix. She's one cool and collected customer, and she has the brains to match. Yes, I know. In order to catch a person like her, you have to avoid head-on confrontations. You should disrupt her pacing. Disrupt her pacing? She's the type of woman who is easily thrown off by things inconsistent with her thinking. So you have to attack when she least expects it. Instant you let up on your offense is the instant this trial is over. Understand? Alright. Alright. Real quick, chat. We're just gonna yoink. Now that I know I can do this, I'm gonna be saving that damn minute. I'm kidding. I'm not actually. Okay. Da-da-da-da-da. And what was Mr. On Guard doing at that time? He was taking a nap. Yo, dude, he sleeps on the robo-arm side? That's gotta be uncomfortable. He was worn out from his many performances as the Nickel Samurai during the ceremony. Mr. On Guard did say he was taking a nap. And I guess you could say it could not have been taken out of his room, yes? Excuse me? It? What are you... Right, I thought years of school would have taught you how to construct a sentence. If you can't make a sensible sentence with a subject, then I'll make one for you. Watch. Did you, Miss Andrews, remove Mr. On Guard's knife from his room? No. Subject, verb, objective, right. Did you skip basic grammar? The witness may continue. Edgeworth, why you gotta roast me, man? Listen, I know I'm not as smart as the other kids. But this doesn't mean you gotta put me down like that, man. Why did you do that? As a friendly gesture, Juan was to make an appearance with the other heroes. So the show was supposed to be a show of friendship, huh? Let her be for now. You should back off. As long as I don't have any proof, she's not gonna talk. May we continue now, witness? Oh, may we continue now? Witness, what did you see when you got to his room? Thank you, Tea Fairy. Press. You were in shock? What? Was I not supposed to be? Andrews is a very calculating person. Despite how close they were, I doubt she had romantic feelings for Mr. Koraida. Anyone randomly stumbling upon a dead body would be in shock. You can't seriously expect that a young beauty like her would not be shocked. Somehow, I don't think beauty has anything to do with being shocked or not. I see. This is the photo you're referring to, correct? Yes, the one with the knife lodged in his chest. And the guitar case was like this too? Yes, it was open and empty, of course. And then, what did you do next, witness? Yeah, weirdo pouring herself a glass of juice. Oh, dead body. Oh, I'm parched, though. Yes, there was a bottle of tomato juice on the table, so I helped myself. But you didn't drink any of it, did you? Huh? There were no lip marks left on this wine glass to suggest that anyone drank from it. I wasn't feeling terribly great, so I set the glass down without drinking it. Miss Andrews, I would like to confirm with you one more time. When you discovered the dead body of Juan Corrida, you were in great shock. That's when you poured yourself a glass of juice, correct? And what of it? My mind really was a complete blank at that time. Mine was a complete blank? I didn't think that was possible for you. Aren't you rude today? I was so dazed that I made one careless mistake, that one thing. What one thing? Never mind, it's no big deal. What was she starting to say just now? Miss Andrews, I'm convinced that, as you said, you made a mistake at the scene of the crime. What I really want to know is what this mistake was. Actually, so would I. I'm sorry, it's kind of embarrassing. When I set the glass down on the dresser, I accidentally knocked the flower vase over. Flower vase? Are you talking about the one in the floor, in the crime photo? But there was more than just the flower vase knocked over. It was originally on top of the dresser. But when I bumped into it with my elbow, it fell onto the guitar case. Why did you withhold such an important piece of information? I'm sorry. I thought that since the crime scene was already in disarray, that people would simply assume the vase was just another part of the mess. It looks like yet another fact has come to light here. Please add this and anything else you have to reveal to your testimony. I'm sorry, but I have nothing more to add. I didn't touch anything else. What kind of flower vase was it? It was a glass vase, and it was fairly big and heavy. I thought I would try to take one's pulse, so I set the glass I was holding down on the dresser. That's when my elbow accidentally hit the vase. It's odd, I thought she was always in total control of herself. That's what she would like people to think. Always be mindful of the gap between your perception and reality. It doesn't sound like there's any glaring contradictions in her testimony just now. I warned you earlier that she would not crack so easily. Keep on the offensive and not let up. The only way you're going to catch her is with some very strong, decisive evidence. I have to find something. I just have to, for Maya's sake. Okay, there was... I think it was this one, where... And why did you do that? As a friendly gesture. We're gonna press further on this one, too. Is that the only reason? I beg your pardon? What are you implying? You had a certain goal in mind when you started to get close to him, correct? So perhaps you had a more personal matter to discuss with the victim? Sorry, but I didn't have any such intentions in mind at the time. Can't get her to talk without a strong piece of evidence, I guess. May we continue now, witness? What did you see when you got to his room? This one's tough. After that, I went to Juan's room. Shock. I saw was naturally the same scene as the crime scene photo. I don't know which one I'm supposed to use, chat. Cause like... this one and the second to last one, I'm pretty sure. What kind of flower vase was it? It was a glass vase and it was fairly big and heavy. Take a look at that crime scene photo. That's the wrong one. It was more than just flower vases that were knocked over. Oh. The guitar case is also open. Because in the description it says that it was closed with water on top. So, if she knocked... Is that the path I'm going down? There's two. One, she knocked over everything else. And then, or two, it has to do with the guitar case. No, I'm on the right track. With the guitar case? Because the guitar case says empty. There's some water, but only on top of the lid. I had a feeling it was the guitar case, because I haven't used it for anything. Okay. Didn't shock. Alright, we're gonna use this. You just turn around and it's just Phoenix pointing at you. You testified that you knocked over the flower. You knocked the flower vase over. Is this correct? Why? Who is bothering me? Don't care. Yes. And you're sure it fell onto the guitar case? Is there some problem with what I said? It's not some problem. It's a major problem. It's true that the top of the guitar case was wet with water. However, that's exactly what is so strange. Miss Andrews, you testified that the vase fell into the guitar case. However, if that were true, the guitar case would have gotten wet on the inside, not the outside. That's very true. Furthermore, there's one other strange thing about this guitar case. And what is that? Let's take another look at the crime scene photo. It's open. The remains of the vase are scattered on the floor. And what is wrong with that? If the guitar case was open when the case fell, the glass shards should be inside, not outside of the case. Ah. What is your point, right? The case is closed. But the case was closed at the time the vase was knocked over? Is that all? No, think back to what Miss Andrews testified to. She said that other than the vase, she didn't touch anything else. Yes, that's right. She didn't implicitly say she didn't touch the guitar case. But this whole matter with the guitar case is a dead end. Bright red guitar was found at the studio. It has no bearing on this case at all. It may very well be. However, the empty guitar case does seem to have no relation to this case, doesn't it? It seems that there is no deeper meaning to the guitar case. Well, Mr. Wright, do you think we need to hear more details about the guitar case? I mean, yes? More testimony is good, I guess. Right, chat? hallways. That's what I thought. But this seems like a major turning point, so we're gonna save. I'm gonna unsteep my tea. The empty guitar case. I believe it is a critical piece of the puzzle. Heh, I can't believe anyone would reach for straws like this. But it is you. I can't believe I'm doing this either. Alright, I'll follow along, for now. Miss Andrews, please testify to the court about the guitar case. Yes, Your Honor. Ah, that's hot. Means the tea is still very hot, chat. I don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed. I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked over the vase. It's not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all. As for why I opened the case, even I don't know. No, that's a lie because only Juan's fingerprints are on the case. It looks like this really wasn't an important point. Its wastefulness is such a familiar feeling by now that it's almost comforting. Anyway, I'll just go ahead and start the cross-examination. Using any way to change the topic, a convenient escape for a weak man. Yo, Edgeworth, you lost so hard that you pretended to die, okay? No one else. Like, come on, dude. I feel like I know what the answer is, but we're still gonna press anything. During your testimony just now, did you remember those events clearly in your mind? Well, you see. Are you sure you're the one who opened the guitar case? She's waiting for someone to tell her if she should answer or not. Sounds like her dependent side is taking over. Well, Miss Andrews? Yes, it was me. Again, I feel like I know the answer, but we're just gonna double check. So you opened the guitar case then? Yes, well, maybe. Why did you open the guitar case? Oh. Mr. Koraita's dead body was right there in front of you, wasn't it? I would think that the first thing you would do is call for help, not open a guitar case. As the witness has said multiple times when she found the dead body, she was dazed. Maybe I was curious to know if the bright red guitar was alright or not. Thought maybe the criminal took it. Why would she care about the bright red guitar? But getting back on topic. Was it really empty? I was just wondering if maybe when you opened the case, the guitar was still inside. How long have you been a lawyer, Mr. Wright? Have a little professionalism. Bright red guitar was found at the studio. These trials would be over in half the time if you would just pay attention. Yes, pay more attention, Mr. Wright. Sorry. Was that because you were shocked and dazed at discovering the victim's body? Yes, that's probably it. I'm not gonna get anywhere if I continue pressing her like this. The only way to make her talk is with evidence. I guess I should give it a try. Move my tea over here. Come on, Phoenix, we can't afford to let up on her now. I wasn't planning on letting up, but she's at her weakest now, so this is our chance. Yeah, if we had a weapon to hit her with. I'm sure a weapon is hiding somewhere in the court record, waiting to be found. Well, that's not true. Because only Juan's fingerprints are on them. There's no way you were the one who opened the guitar case. Why would you say that? It's elementary, my dear. Because the only fingerprints on this guitar case are those of the victim. Ah. I love her little sassy pose. What is it, Miss Andrews? You shouldn't assume that I'm You shouldn't assume that I must have left prints just because I touched the case. What do you mean? What if I were to tell you I was wearing gloves at the time? Gloves? But why would you be wearing gloves at the time? It was the night of the award ceremony. So of course I dressed up for the occasion. Yes, now I remember. I'm almost sure I was wearing a pair of thin gloves. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, it seems the witness was wearing gloves at the scene of the crime. That's strange, right? Because... yeah, that's no. You were wearing gloves. Isn't that a little strange? Why is that strange? Do you have something that would prove I was not wearing gloves at the time? Yes? Yes? I have your proof right here. This wine glass. A wine glass? You left your fingerprints very clearly on this wine glass. Ah, got her! Even if you took your gloves off when you poured yourself this glass of juice, wouldn't you think it was just a little strange that you put your gloves back on just to open the guitar case? I broke her glasses. Oh, she had another pair. She thought so hard her glasses broke. It's like you hit the nail on the head this time. What do you mean? I believe that guitar case plays a very important role here. It's just an empty case. I wonder if it really was empty, though. But the guitar, bright red guitar, was at the studio. Phoenix, drop all your presumptions. What was in the guitar case was not the bright red guitar. You don't mean it was a bright white guitar? Wait, that's not right either. I admit it would be unnatural for someone to do that. The witness was not wearing gloves, despite the fact on that case. Your Honor, this is obviously the defense's usual misdirection tactic at work. Steer the court towards an unrelated topic and lull us all into his misguided. No, Your Honor. Please recall that Miss Andrews had testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case, which means that the case was closed when the crime took place. However, it is wide open in this photo of the crime scene. I'm sure this guitar case has some relation to the murder. Relatable. If you are so sure, right, then I'm sure you can somehow substantiate your outrageous claim, correct? Please, enlighten us as to why the guitar case has anything to do with the murder. Can you do that, Mr. Wright? Well, let's suppose for a second that the bright red guitar was not the only thing that could have been in the case. Bright red guitar not being the only thing? You don't mean to suggest that just other colored guitars. So you intend to push your theory that the case was not empty? Is that it, right? I wouldn't say something I didn't intend to prove. I've said that a lot in this game. Deflate that head of yours, you haven't proven anything yet. Now then, let's have it. What was inside the case at the time of the schmurder? Do you think it was the sewer slide note? I think it was the sewer slide note. Or at least, like, the one that went missing, apparently. What do we think, chat? I feel like that's the only reasonable answer that I have. Let's give it a shot. And why would something like that be inside a guitar case, let alone this one? Why, Mr. Wright? Why? Well, I just thought it might have been possible. Thank you, chat. I was like, hey, if, you know, sometimes guitar cases have little pockets and stuff, you could just slid the little pocket slid the note in the little pocket and hidden it from the world. I have a suggestion. Why don't you put that in the void where your brain is supposed to be? Well, what was Andrews found in? The, like, gossip article? He did it. You still think you can prove your theory? No, like, what was she wearing? We solved. I wouldn't say something I didn't intend to prove. Let's have it. What was inside the case at the time of the schmurder? What was Andrew's? The steel samurai costume? Or would the nickel, whatever metal he wants to be? So then, how do I prove that? Do I just use the photo? Because I don't have anything. Okay. This is a photograph. Yes, but what is important is what is in that picture, Your Honor. This picture? It doesn't take a genius to see what I mean. What I am proposing is... Inside the guitar case was the Nickel Samurai, the hero's very own costume. What? That's fair. You know what? That makes a lot of sense. Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Right, are you saying that the witness opened a guitar case to take out a costume? Because it was premeditated. Premeditated. What insane point would there be to doing something like that? That insane point would be to wear the costume, of course. Miss Andrews put it on to hide her identity so she could make her escape. After all, you couldn't let anyone see you leave, could you, Miss Andrews? Break your glasses again. I refuse to accept your theory. Do you have anything to support such a preposterous idea? Just outside the door was an investigative photographer who was starving for a big scoop. And in the end, she managed to get this shot, correct? You mean this photo? Even in heels, she's short. It looks like we've wandered into quite another mess again, haven't we? Nice job, Phoenix. Well, you know my strategy. Speak first, think later. So the real schmurder was hiding inside a costume? Wait a second, Your Honor. Nickel Samurai's costume would have been Mr. Matt on guards. Why would something of the defendants be in the victim's room? And inside a guitar case, of all places? True. That is a little baffling. Mr. Wright, the court would like to hear your thoughts. What was the Nickel Samurai costume doing inside the guitar case? It was probably a spare. Mr. Engard did not take his costume off during the break period. In that case, the costume we are talking about was a spare one. What? Then, are you saying that on the night of the schmurder, there were 2 Nickel Samurai costumes in the Gatewater Hotel? Yes, that is what I'm saying. How do you explain the costume that was inside the guitar case? That would mean the victim himself would have brought this spare to the ceremony on purpose. You never know, spill some salsa on it? Can't have the Nickel Samurai walking around with salsa stains, guys. Come on. But why? The victim, Mr. Karaida, was the Jammin' Ninja. Why would he secretly bring the Nickel Samurai spare costume with him? What could be the reason behind such a peculiar act? And there lies the sticking point. What are you mumbling to yourself about now? Have you just been rambling all this time without any sense of inner monologue? Yep. No, I just... Mr. Wright, please explain yourself. Why do you think the victim had the Nickel Samurai's spare costume? Phoenix? Are you sure you can explain this one? Think carefully before you answer. And then answer with gusto. I believe in you. Alright, this is what I think. I think I'm gonna say... I am afraid... Okay. The reason the victim brought the Nickel Samurai's spare costume to the hotel was... press conference? No. Could it have been? Yeah? Because that makes sense. This seems like the Nickel Samurai is to confess something after the post-ceremony stage show. What is this? On the night of the Schmurder, after the stage show, the Nickel Samurai was going to hold a special press conference. Press conference? Yes, the Nickel Samurai was supposed to confess something at this conference. I heard about this as well. For once, you're not making something up, right? But what struck me as strange was that Mr. On Guard himself said he had no idea he was supposed to be holding a press conference that night. But how can that be? The way I see it, that can mean only one thing. The conference was set up by none other than the victim, Mr. Juan Corrida himself. The victim? Yes. The spare Nickel Samurai costume was prepared for that very conference. Mr. Corrida was going to hold the press conference as the Nickel Samurai. Look at that, chat. That's some good tea, chat. Although it's still very hot. I think I burnt my mouth on something today. He was gonna dress up as the Nickel Samurai and hold a conference? But why would the victim do such a thing? That's something I don't quite know yet. However, what I am concerned with right now is what he intended to reveal at the conference. The Nickel Samurai was going to confess something? And by confess, I'd wager he was going to reveal something about himself. Which means that Juan Corrida, posing as the Nickel Samurai, is going to speak about Matt on Guard. Yes, I guess that is what it would mean. But if that's the case, that's not a confession, that's public disclosure. Miss Andrews? I can see why you are pros at what you do. Pardon me? Yes, just as you say, the press conference was set up by Juan. Miss Andrews, please offer us an explanation for this. I was the one he asked to help set it up, and the person who prepared the second samurai costume for him, that was also me. You? Juan had bet everything on the Jammin' Samurai this year, and if he lost the Grand Prix, he was gonna make sure that Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought anyway. He was going to ruin him, huh? It looks like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. What? Yo, I want me some mint green pants. I want to be like this lady and just wear mint green pants. Do you know what the secret of Mr. On Guard's is, Miss Andrews? It's something only Juan knew. I don't know what it is. Ah, I see. I've probably been coming off quite suspicious to everyone. That's to be expected. I've been trying to protect Matt, after all. Protect Mr. On Guard. And yet again, another strange bit of truth comes to light, it seems. Miss Andrews, if you could, please tell us the truth about your behavior. Yes, Your Honor, I understand. Oh my god, this lady. From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the schmurderer. Matt had to kill Juan no matter what. He didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the schmurder. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course, the button and the knife. But I'm Matt's manager, so I felt I had to protect him. That does account for everything. Well, I am the logical type. Finally seeing her true self. Nothing's stopping you from getting those pants. The economy, that's what's stopping me from getting those pants. I work at a mechanic shop, and it's greasy. Everywhere is greasy. So no mint green pants for me. I'm not allowed. I'm afraid of wearing anything that's not black. I guess I could wear mint green pants on my days off. I'm trying to go out more. Chat. It's thankfully the nice weather's here, so it'll make me want to go outside. But yeah, maybe I'll buy some mint green pants. I feel like I need mint green pants in my life. Solve all my troubles. She is more nervous than a scared rabbit. The defense can find no fault with this testimony. I am ready to make a ruling. Please keep that in mind as you cross-examine Mr. Wright. I have to turn her logic upside down. Wear those pants to somewhere that's not work. Alright, I'm gonna see if I can find light mint green pants that aren't ugly. I feel like you either need... Oh, like a corduroy material would be really cute. Mint green corduroy pants? Oh. I love that. Reminds me of mint chocolate chip ice cream. It's my favorite. From the okay. We're cross-examining. Would you say that your intuition speaking... That was your intuition speaking for you? Don't confuse my methods of reasoning with your own. You want to prove that someone did something, you need 3 things. 3 things? Motive and opportunity to commit the crime, and finally, decisive evidence. If you think these 3 things through, the answer becomes quite clear. Should have already known that, Phoenix. They didn't teach us that in school. At least, not from what I remember. May I continue now? Why did he have to do that? So you would say this need came from the press conference? Yes, do you know why Juan chose that event in that hotel for the conference? Because that's when he could cause the most damage to the public's beloved Matt on guard. And you knew of this plan, didn't you, Miss Andrews? Yes, because I was the one who set up the conference and prepared the costume. But I'm sure Mr. On Guard himself didn't know anything about the press conference. Oh, really? Can you show me any proof that he didn't know about the press conference? Anyway, the important thing here is that this information was not in your testimony. Yes, I agree. Miss Andrews, please correct your testimony, if you will. Yeah, grasping at straws now, are we, Mr. Wright? Has Mr. On Guard done something to hurt or betray you personally? Why do you ask? You're the one who helped Mr. Corrido with his press conference. And that event was supposed to bring down Mr. On Guard, yet you still helped out. The person on trial right now is Mr. On Guard, right? What the witness was thinking, helping the victim with his plan, is none of our concern. In any case, this means that the defendant had motive to kill. Why do I keep doing this to myself? The real question is, what evidence are we going to use for this? Didn't you already testify earlier that Mr. On Guard was taking a nap in his room? Are you telling me now that, too, was a lie so you could cover for Mr. On Guard? When I went to get him for the show, he honestly was sleeping. However, as to whether he was sleeping the entire time, that I cannot say. I was too busy setting up the stage at the time. Yo, doesn't this... security cameras? No? I guess you wouldn't be able to put them in the room. That's illegal. I keep trying, but I can find no flaws with what Miss Andrews has said. Can't say the same for the people here in this courtroom, however. Judge is glaring straight at Mia. Glaring at you, smart guy. I can hardly call the knife decisive evidence. Fingerprints on the knife could very well be a clever camouflage. Then, what about the button? Button? It's clear from the crime scene that the victim and his murderer fought. During the fight, the killer ripped the button off the Jam and Ninja's costume. You're talking about this button, correct? That button was found in the pleats of Matt's hakama, isn't that correct? I would think it makes very decisive evidence. Irk. Looks like you were outfoxed again, Mr. Wright. Anyway, the knife doesn't prove a thing. Please fix your testimony. I can't stand the sight of a man who can't gracefully accept his defeat. Thank goodness, Mia can still look at me. With an icy stare, yes. And how do you know that? The ends of the threads, one button, with the end of the threads on the button and the costume were matched up. They found it to fit perfectly together, or so I heard. I've heard that before too. Why would Miss Andrews know about this case down to such a fine detail? Don't look at me like that, just because I'm prepared and you are not. And I thought I had her this time, for sure. But where and what? Okay. We're at the last statement. But what you really did was stab the guy in the back, didn't you? And at the worst possible time. Used to say she really stabbed the guy in the back, as you put it. This witness could have disclosed things about Mr. Ungard at any time. Why, then, would she wait until there was a large audience before doing so? It's the same reason why Mr. Karaida planned such an elaborate conference. Miss Andrews wanted to cause Mr. Ungard as much damage as she possibly could. This witness bears ill will towards the defendant. This isn't the Phoenix Wright wax philosophical power hour. And please stop slandering the witness. As I expected, Miss Andrews' testimony seems pretty solid. Really? Because to me it sounded a little wishy-washy. Wishy-washy? Well, I guess we'll see if I press a little more. You should know this by now. But you'll need strong, decisive evidence to make her talk. Got it, Chief. I want to pin you down this time, Miss Andrews. Phoenix, I don't think you should have said that. Okay. So, chat. I feel like this is where we throw out her mentor's drama. The moment that I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. I know what his motive was, but I don't have any way to prove it. He didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. That button was torn off during his fight with Matt. But I'm Matt's manager, so I feel like I had to protect him. Read the autopsy. Strangled with a scarf, then stabbed with a knife. I just like every time he's just like, right. This was the victim's autopsy report, and clearly states that the cause of death was strangulation by a scarf. Strangulation? Knife stab to the victim was done after the victim had already died. And what does that mean? Let's examine the evidence. This button has the victim's blood on it, which would mean it was ripped off of the costume when? After the knife was stabbed into the victim? Exactly. Which means it was impossible that this button was torn off during the victim's final struggle, because the victim was strangled to death in that fight. That's right, Miss Andrews. There's no way this button was ripped off during the struggle. This button was consciously pulled off of the victim's already dead body. Order, order, what is the meaning? What is the meaning of this, right? So what if the button was torn off the body after the victim had already died? What does that change? Everything. Let me ask you one simple question, Mr. Edgeworth. Why was the button torn off? What purpose did that serve? What purpose? You know this button was not torn off during the fight. So the Schmurderer took the time and effort to purposely rip this from the victim's body. That would mean that the Schmurderer had something in mind, wouldn't it? Mr. Wright, does this mean... Does this mean that you know that what the Schmurderer wanted to do with this button? What was it? There's only one logical reason for doing something like that. It was to pin the crime on Mr. Ungard. There's no way anyone would put a bloody button in their own pants. That's right, Mr. Ungard was set up. By the real killer, of course. And the real Schmurderer is... Well, Mr. Wright, who in the world is the real killer, then? Finally. Can't believe I managed to bring this trial all the way up to this point. Phoenix, can't let your guard down yet. Not until the very end. The real killer, the person who planned to frame Mr. Ungard, is... Hold on. I can't save! Come on. Was it? Hey, we received 100 messages today. Woot woot. It's AA. Okay. Chat's yelling at me, so I'm gonna answer them. Miss Adrian Andrews. I choose you! You're Mr. Karida's killer. What? Breaks off glasses. No! Order, order. Mr. Wright. This is a very grave matter. Do you have any evidence that supports your charge? Any evidence? All of the evidence points to Miss Andrews. What? How preposterous. You can't stick any of that on me. I can't, can I? Would you care to test me? Then what about this knife? The knife was used to stab the victim after he'd already been strangled to death. It was used to throw suspicion onto Mr. Ungard, naturally. The knife covered in the defendant's fingerprints could only be taken from his room. And the only one who had dinner with him and knew which knife to take was you. Puts on a... Yo, ouch! She's hiding them in the mint pants. Note to self. Mint pants equals infinite glasses. Got it. Then... What about the button that was found in Matt's hakama? This button was removed from the victim's body after he had already died. The only person who could have done so was the person who found his body, or the killer. However, if Mr. Ungard was the real killer, there's no way he would have put such incriminating evidence in his own hakama. Note to self. Mint pants. The only person who could have put this button into Mr. Ungard's hakama is the person who went to wake him up from his nap, which is you, yet again, Miss Andrews. Oh, exactly, that's what I'm saying, Sharona. Note to self. Mint green pants, infinite glasses, and I need a new pair of glasses. So, looks like Mama needs a new pair of pants, and therefore I'm gonna give me a new pair of glasses. Or do they just... Are they like a copy machine, where like, you put in one pair of, like, a pair of glasses, and it can only make those glasses? Something to think about, chat. Something to think about. I see. What about the empty guitar case? That is also another piece of evidence that incriminates Miss Andrews. I should get pants that match my hair. I should. Technically I wore an outfit yesterday that kind of matched my hair. Yesterday? What was yesterday? Sunday? Yeah. That costume was used to hide the real killer's identity as they fled the crime scene. Now, who could have known that there was such a costume inside the guitar case? It could only have been the person who prepared the costume for the victim. We do not question the pants, exactly. And that person is you, Miss Adrian Andrews. No, Miss Andrews' fingerprints are nowhere to be found on the guitar case. And it was you who proved that she was not wearing gloves at the time. That's right. That's because she did not intend on leaving any prints. If anyone had found out that she had touched the case, they would have asked her why. So to avoid leaving any prints, she used a towel or something else to open it. But the glass of tomato juice is a different story. Miss Andrews purposely left her fingerprints on the glass to show that yes, indeed, she was the classic dazed discoverer of a dead body. Oof. Yo, how does she not get glass in her eyes, though? To top it all off, there's this photo. A photo of the killer as they exited the scene of the crime. Not to mention, no reasonable person on Earth can believe this nickel samurai is Mr. On Guard. It would be much too short for his own costume if it was him. Speaking of how tall people are, Miss Andrews, you're also kind of short in stature, are you not? Please stop. I'm gonna make her cry. Well, how about it, Miss Andrews? I've got her this safety squints. I've got her this time. Miss Andrews? I refuse to testify. What was that? There's a law. It says I can't be forced to testify about something if it can incriminate me. Well, yes. You are absolutely correct, Miss Andrews. The law does provide us with the way to avoid self-incrimination by allowing a victim to not testify if the testimony can cause damage to themselves. What? Pleading the fifth is not something most people would think to do on the spot. Actually, thinking back to yesterday in Mr. On Guard's room. Adrian Andrews. Alright. Or I hope she's doing okay. As much as she whips me and it makes me cry, I do care about her. Yes? Think hard about what we just discussed. Understood? Alright. That's it. That's when Franziska planted this idea into her head. She must have told Miss Andrews not to testify if things look bad. Did a good job proving everything up to this point, Phoenix. There's still one thing you haven't done. Something I haven't done? What's wrong, right? Are you finished already? Run out of evidence? It is so humorous, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm sure you realize this as well, Your Honor. But everything the good lawyer here has proven up to this point is meaningless. What? Everything you have proven is circumstantial. Circumstantial? Yes, circumstantial. You have yet to provide a single piece of definitive proof. Proof that Miss Andrews did in fact harbor a wish to murder Mr. Kurida. Probably? They probably have something similar. I could be wrong though. I do not know most laws, let alone foreign laws. But I feel like they would have something similar where it's like, if you feel like something is being used against you, like you might be able to request like time, or like, I want to speak to my lawyer because if this is the angle that you're going with, then I want to be prepared to defend myself kind of thing. Miss Andrews, did you want to kill Mr. Karaida? I believe this may lead to me incriminating myself, so I will abstain from answering. But, Miss Andrews, if you do that, it would be the same as admitting your guilt, don't you think? Maybe so, or maybe not. There is nothing to prove it either way. Besides, you don't even know what crime I would be guilty of due to my silence. Oh, she's taking that defiant attitude again. Mia, what should we do? Somehow, we've landed in the worst possible situation. Oh my god. I think we have reached a certain conclusion at this point in time. Adrian Andrews has refused to testify, and the defense's theory that she is the actual murderer has not been fully sustained with solid definitive proof. But that's not true. In this situation, there's only one thing this court can do, and that is to declare a recess. Recess? I request that both the prosecution and the defense look further into this matter. And at tomorrow's trial... Tomorrow? No, I can't do that. We don't have a tomorrow. If we don't get a not guilty verdict today, then... Please wait, Your Honor. That's not necessary. The trial. Please continue the trial. What are you sweating for? You're so sweaty. Your client is getting one more day to live, isn't he? It's not him that I'm worried about. That's not it. This isn't about that. Edgeworth, I know you know who the real killer is. Please, let the trial continue. If I don't get the verdict, then Maya... Come on, Edgeworth, you wouldn't want to kill your biggest simp, would you? Or is Maya his biggest simp? Or is it Gumshoe or Phoenix or what's his name? Anyway, but it's impossible to continue as long as the witness refuses to testify. Now then, this court is... It is not impossible for this trial to continue. Edgeworth, I want to go to bed. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you... It's true Miss Andrews holds the right against self-incrimination. However, the topic of conversation were something unrelated to whatever she may be guilty of, and she has no right to withhold testimony. Yes, that is very true, but it's Phoenix. Phoenix, yeah, for sure. Actually, there's one little thing that I'm curious about. You're not wrong, Sharona. When you found the victim's dead body, you poured yourself a glass of juice. Who does that? Yes, and? Can't help but think how unnatural that is. Usually when one finds a body, they are shaken up, not stirring a glass of juice. So my actions were unusual, but I've already... Before you speak, I want to state that if you have a reason behind your actions, I would like you to testify to that effect. Testify? Smack. Your Honor, I would like to request that the witness testify again as to what happened when she first discovered the victim's body. Oh, heck yeah, Sharona. Get comfy, get cozy, do whatever it is you need to do. Whatever we find out in this testimony should in no way implicate the witness. I don't know what it is about Edgeworth today, but I can't get a good read off of him. Is he friend or foe? I just don't know. He's a lover. He can be both. He's an enemy to lover. That's what he is. The court acknowledges the prosecution's request. Miss Andrews, if you please. When I found the body. We've got to hide the body, Gromit! That glass of juice, I really didn't pour it for myself. I was surprised when I walked into the room and saw it in that messy state. And Juan, he was sitting slumped over and tired looking in the corner. When I saw him sitting like that, the thought that he was dead didn't cross my mind. To be honest, I thought he just fainted or something, so I went to pour him some juice. When I realized that he was dead, that's when I knocked the flower vase over. This frickin' game. So you poured that glass of juice for the victim. Why didn't you say so in your earlier testimony? Didn't think I needed to include something so trivial. Phoenix, please be careful here. Can't find anything wrong with this testimony, then there's nothing left. I know. Edgeworth. What the heck is going on in that brain of yours? Alrighty. But there wasn't anyone else in the room, right? Of course not. Then, who did you pour it for? Mr. Wright, there's rhyme and reason for everything. Can you wait just a little longer for it to be revealed to you? In other words, Wright, be quiet and listen. Precisely. I couldn't have said it better myself. So it was a mess? Are you sure it wasn't messy because of your fight with Mr. Karaida? I understand your frustrations at not being able to prove your theory. However, before you go accusing people of crimes, go find yourself some evidence. Grr. And then, what did you see next, witness? When he was just sitting there, looking slumped over in a corner. Yeah, he wasn't in a corner. Yes, he was just sitting there with his head tilted forward, eyes closed. He looked like he was sleeping. Just me, or did that right there sound a little odd? How did that not cross your mind? There was a knife sticking out of him. I thought maybe he had smashed everything up in anger because he lost the Grand Prix, and then felt tired after his rampage, so he decided to take a nap. Anyways, that's what I thought. I see, so you didn't think he was dead at all? At all? His blood sugar. He is diabetic, Your Honor. You thought he fainted? I thought he was asleep at first, but then the room was in such a messy state. Thought maybe I'd gotten into a fight with someone. That's when you went to pour a glass of juice? Yes, he always had a hard time waking up. Sawan always had a glass of tomato juice to drink. Drinking ketchup. That's pretty much what, well, without the sugar. Drinking pasta sauce at that point. I see. And after that, what happened next? How did you come to realize that he was in fact dead? I shook him over and over, but I never got a response, so I set the glass down on the dresser and tried to take his pulse. I was shocked and staggered backwards. Knocked the flower vase over, so that's what happened? Yes. This is what it all comes down to. Huh? This is the absolute end for both sides. And Adrian is letting her guard down. Phoenix, now is our best chance yet to kill the prosecution's case. Is that a bit harsh? Sandrews, will you tell us the truth this time? Okay, chat. So, first of all, we're gonna do this. Okay, so she was like, oh, I found him in the corner. First of all, I don't think he was in a corner. That's a corner. How did you not see the knife sticking out of him? Okay, so that glass of juice, I really didn't pour it for myself. I was surprised when I walked in and saw it was in such a messy state. Nuan, he was just sitting slumped over, looking tired, looking in a corner. Okay, this was the one that Phoenix said he was like, isn't that a little odd? I saw him sitting like that. The thought that he was dead didn't cross my mind. To be honest, I thought he had just faded. I think it's this one. Use logic here. Thanks, chat. Like, my logic is saying, so you walk into a room, see a dude slumped over. How do you not see the knife? That's where my brain's going. Exactly. With a knife in him. Simple. So do I present the knife, though, or do I present the photo? The scene of the crime. Okay. Oh, that doesn't sound right. Your Honor, that statement contradicts this evidence. Does? I don't see anything Objection denied. Try to think before you make accusations. What? Oops. Okay, so I know I used the... right evidence, wrong statement. Yeah, thanks, chat. I figured it out. Was it this one? Ah, I saw him sitting there with a knife in his chest. I didn't think he was dead. I just thought he got stabbed. He got stabbed on the right side, so he could have punctured a lung. I feel like it's either this one or this one. Because to be honest, I thought he had just fainted or something. Did you not, again, did you not see the knife? I feel like either one of those statements could work. Like, to be honest, I thought he had just fainted or something, so I went to pour him a glass of juice. So it's like, okay, so you didn't see the knife sticking out of him? And then, when I saw him sitting like that, the thought that he was dead didn't cross my mind. So you didn't see the knife sticking out of him? I don't know many people who survive knife wound attacks like that. Can either one actually work? Is that something that they do in this game? Because that would seem kind of rude. Although it's not giving me any penalties. Maybe the game bugged out. So you honestly didn't think he was dead when you found him? No, not at all. Even though this is what you saw when you discovered the body? Yeah, like, there's blood on him. What is the meaning of this? Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? There was a knife sticking straight out of Mr. Karida's chest. Anyone who saw this scene would have immediately thought that here was a dead man. That's, well, you see, not a single person in the world would mistake this for someone who fainted. And then so nonchalantly go pour something to drink. Your point is? Miss Andrews, your testimony just now, it was all one giant lie. And your lie has proven one thing very clear. That you were the real killer. No! Looks like the defense has somehow brought the ugly truth to light. Defendant, Mr. Matt on guard, is not guilty after all. But that's impossible. You're wrong. Miss Andrews? Try to have some composure. It wasn't me. It wasn't me, I tell you. It was Matt, I swear it. He's the one who killed Juan. You were the one who refused to testify. And your reason for not doing so was that you might end up incriminating yourself. That's because... Miss Andrews, I will give you one last chance. No! Throw the bitch in jail, I don't care. What exactly are you hiding that may incriminate you? I refuse to testify. And there is no need for this court to continue any further. Mr. Matt on guard's innocence has been clearly demonstrated. Is it over? Have we found the truth at last? What's wrong, Phoenix? Usually the real killer confesses his or her guilt. Now that I think about it, this is the first time someone hasn't. Now then, I would like to hand down my verdict for Mr. Matt on guard. Your Honor, the prosecution feels that it would be premature to pass down a verdict at this time. What? The reason is quite simple. This witness has yet to speak the absolute... Edgeworth! Absolute real truth? What are you? Witness, don't you understand yet? Huh? I don't know who planted this silly idea in your head, but as long as you protect yourself through your silence, Matt on guard will go free, and in his place, you will become the guilty party. That's a lie. I don't believe you. What? I was told if I spoke, then it would be all over, and Matt would never be declared guilty. What in the world is she talking about? Has she lost it? I can't speak about it. I'm too scared. It's Franziska von Karma. Huh? Don't you remember, Phoenix? Miss Andrews lives by gripping tightly onto the words of another, because she doesn't have the strength to believe in herself. And right now, Miss Andrews is... Yesterday, she was tossed a lifesaver by Miss von Karma. Don't say a word no matter what happens. If you do, Matt on guard will be acquitted. Miss Andrews undyingly believes in those words right now and is clinging on to them. And what should we do? This is the first time I've ever come across anything like this. Miss Andrews has to be the killer, right? All we have to do now is get our guilty verdict. Get our not guilty. That is my only priority. It wasn't me. I'm begging you. Please believe me. I didn't kill Juan. Help, please. Someone, help me. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? Court can't continue on like this. Therefore, I'd like to hear what you intend to do. What I intend to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? Right. I suggest you think very carefully about this. Think about what this witness did and what she did not do. And think about who is the real mastermind behind this crime. Who's the real mastermind? Isn't that obvious? No one else could be except the woman crying over there, right? Oh, Phoenix Wright, how simple-minded you are, good sir. I don't know what to do, chat. I know I have to get a not guilty verdict, but can I even somehow, like, prove that it was Mr. Shelby? I do believe in my heart will guide you. My heart wants to go to bed, so it's not helping right now, chat. Like, I don't know. He doesn't even show up on the profiles. Yeah, because, like, I know that I'm supposed to, like... It doesn't matter? Pick one. Okay. Thank you. Sleepy fish. Thank you, chat. No matter what she says, Miss Andrews is the only person who it could be. Not to mention, I don't have a choice. I have to win a complete acquittal today. Your Honor, the defense believes there is enough evidence to substantiate our claim. Therefore, we motion that this court passes a verdict of not guilty as soon as possible. I'm disappointed in you, right? What have you learned in this past year? To pick my nose and fight crime. I don't know. That's totally what Phoenix does when nobody's watching. I commend you for trying, Mr. Edgeworth. However, it's clear that the defense's theory is the truth. You're wrong. What a shame. I had hoped things wouldn't come to this. However... What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Andrews, since you absolutely refuse to testify, it falls on my shoulders to disclose this to the court. Stop! This witness... How should I put this? She has an illness. She's down with a sickness. What? And because of this illness, she has tried to commit suicide in the past. Stop! Please stop. No matter how much you want to hide it, it's no use. I have the evidence right here. Ah! That's the second part of the sewer slide report. The attempted one! What will you do now, witness? You know what I am about to do, don't you? I will now reveal to the court the true nature of the pitiful woman known as Adrian Andrews. The secret of her dependent nature. Having other people know about it scares her more than anything else in the world. Please stop. I beg you. If people find out, I'll... What are you gonna do? You're gonna say choose death. That is of no concern to me. Damn. Edgeworth. How can you be so cold? However, before you die... I will pull the truth from your still breathing lips. Edge is in the name, no matter what I have to do. So, will you tell the court yourself, or shall I? Either is fine with me. I talk, but please help me. Nothing matters anymore. Game? Why is this so long? When I first saw him, I thought he really had fainted, honest. When I realized he was dead, that's when I formulated my plan. Once I made sure there was no one in the hall, I made a dash back to Matt's room. And then I stabbed Juan's body with a knife and ripped off the button. Just when I finished and was returning to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience. That's why I ended up using the Nickel Samurai costume. Girl, Stab the body? With a knife? Well, why would you do that? Isn't it obvious? To pin the blame on a certain person. A certain cowardly man. What? What do you mean by all of this? It might take this court a while to understand, but... this is the truth. Real killer is Matt. That scumbag of a man, I'll never forgive him. He's trying to escape his guilt again, just like last time. Last time? So Miss Andrews stabbed the victim, Juan Corrida, in the chest with a knife. However, she didn't do it with murder in mind. She did it with the intent of framing Matt on guard for the schmurder. And this is her crime. What? How is this possible? I mean, wasn't Miss Andrews supposed to be the real schmurderer? Mr. Wright, please get over your shock and commence the cross... I don't care anymore. Just throw one of them in jail. But you could tell from the state the room was in that there must have been a fight. Are you telling the truth when you say that you did not know he was dead? He had a scarf around his neck. That scarf is part of the Jammin' Ninja's costume, so... I didn't think anything about it was strange. And it was also tilted down a bit, so I couldn't see his face that well. That's why I thought I'd wake him up, and went to pour the juice. What was this plan you had? I knew right away that the schmurderer was Matt. I knew because Juan was going to expose Matt's weakest weak point to the world. So Matt did this to stop Juan and silence him for good. That's when I thought I should forge some evidence and pin this crime on Matt. So the forged pieces of evidence were the knife and the button. The first thing that came to mind was to plant the knife. That was so you could get the knife, correct? The knife Matt used at dinner had his fingerprints all over it. I thought if I used that, then the police would certainly turn their eyes towards him. Matt was napping with his costume on at the time, slipped in, took the knife, and returned to the scene of the crime. You were the one who stabbed the victim with the knife? It gives me goosebumps to think about it now. What a horrible thing I did. But at the time, I couldn't control my own body, it moved on its own. And when I stabbed Juan's dead body, I suddenly realized something. I used this button somehow, I could make Matt look even more suspicious. So you thought to rip one of the buttons off and then plant it in Mr. Ungard's comma? Yes, that's what I had planned to do. But things never go that smoothly, do they? An inconvenience? There was a woman with a camera at the ready, loitering in the hallway. I'm willing to bet my spikes that it was Lotta. Also a woman with a ray gun at the ready, pacing back and forth. That's Miss Oldbag for ya. I'd already been caught and made into a big scoop for a certain weekly tabloid once. I couldn't very well go out looking like myself and get caught again. You're the one who prepared the costume, weren't you? Yes, I took it from Global Studios. I also put it into Juan's guitar case the day before the awards ceremony. You did this in preparation for the press conference, correct? Yes, Juan wanted to wear the costume and hold a press conference in it. He was going to disclose Matt's big secret there. And what is this secret? That, I don't know. Anyway, I thought that if I were to leave Juan's room in the Nickel Samurai costume, and people would think that Matt was the real schmurderer. I was very careful not to leave any fingerprints when I opened the guitar case. I absolutely did not want anyone to know about the costume. I think we've heard enough. So after that, you went back to Mr. Ungard's room and planted the button? Into Matt's Akama? Yes. After that, I folded the costume I was wearing, put it into a bag. and I snuck it out of the hotel and got rid of it. But my word, what does all this mean? Mr. Edgeworth, is it? The real criminal is Matt on guard. Yesterday, that woman prosecutor sat me down for a talk. Ziska, huh? She said that I should under no circumstances confess to what I had done. And if I just kept quiet, then Matt would be found guilty for sure. I had no choice but to believe in her words. 'Cause I'm down with the sickness. I have... What's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? What this witness has done is clearly unlawful. However, as long as her testimony stands, you can be certain that she is not the real killer. Wait, Your Honor. The defense still... Right. It's pointless. At this point in time, it is impossible to indict Miss Andrews on anything. Yes, exactly. There isn't a single piece of evidence that points to her as the murderer. Cross-examination of the witness is over, and so is today's trial. You couldn't establish that the witness was the culprit. Please let it go, Mr. Wright. But... No buts. Mr. Edgeworth, please place Miss Andrews under arrest for further questioning. Understood, Your Honor. The prosecution will arrange for her detention immediately. That is all. Court is adjourned for today. Did I lose? Chat? Did I lose? I suck? Thanks. I didn't win an acquittal. Witness, would you mind if I asked you something? Edgeworth. What is it? Before you leave court today, I wondered if I might look at one thing. That card in your hand. It had my interest for quite some time now. What exactly is it? Oh, this? Mr. Wright also asked about this. Although I didn't remember at the time you asked me about it, Mr. Wright. I remember just now. I found this in the room on that day. The room? That day? Yes. I found this card when I discovered Juan's body. It was lying there right next to him. Found that card next to the victim's body? Suppose I must have unconsciously slipped it into my pocket. That's not as if this card has any relevance to Juan's murder, right? I guess not. Still a strange card, if you ask me. But as far as a clue to this case, I don't see why. Witness, that card. Give it to me. Hurry. Edgeworth? Do you have any idea what you stupidly yet inadvertently done? This? I can't believe you hid this from me all this time. I didn't mean to. What is this all about? I've never seen Edgeworth so emotional before. That card. What in the world is it? What does it mean? Stupid woman. Edgeworth. Okay, chat, we're not dead just yet. But boy, howdy, that was a trial of the century. I wonder if Edgeworth knows something. He must have. He wouldn't have gotten so cracked out about it if he didn't. Ah, good golly gracious. Well, I have no idea what's gonna happen next time, so I hope I will see you all there, because we're gonna end the stream here today. We've been streaming for almost 3.5 hours. That trial took so long, which is fair, because it was like, usually it's like, okay, you do the one trial, we figure out something that is new, and then the judge is like, go and investigate, and then we go and investigate. But we couldn't do that with this trial. We had to do it all in one shot, one opportunity. But it seems like luck is on our side, and more specifically, Maya's side. So we'll have to see what happens if we're able to save her. Edgeworth seems to know something, so we'll pick it up from there. Thank you so very much to everyone who joined me today. Thank you to all of my lovely little people in chat. You guys are below me. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you guys in the next stream. And that's all from me. So I hope you all have a great day, evening, or night, wherever you are in the world. And I'll catch you in the next stream. Peace and chicken grease. I'm gonna hit the wrong button. Bye!